Hey guys, welcome back. As I'm sure you can already tell, today's video is a time-lapse video of my iceberg painting that I like to call Beautiful Isolation and Artist Vlog. So I actually started and finished this painting back in March, long before I decided to publish my first YouTube video. At the time, I hadn't completely decided whether I was gonna start this channel or not, but when I started the painting, I was just like, heck, might as well video it, and if you don't publish it, then you don't publish it, and if you do, you do. So here it is. So I actually got this reference photo from National Geographic magazine, which I normally like to take my own reference photos, but it's not every day that a girl gets to just take a trip to Antarctica to take reference photos for her paintings. So, thank you National Geographic for this photo, and also to the photographer. I'm sorry I don't have your name right in front of me right now, but I will link it in the description. So I had actually never painted anything like this before, so in the beginning I did a lot of painting of an area and repainting the same area, trying to experiment and get the feel for what I liked. And since I hadn't painted anything like this before, I noticed that I was way overthinking a lot of it at the start, which, let's be honest, I normally way overthink at the beginning of any painting, but it was a lot more so with this one just because it was so foreign to me, the subject anyways. And heck, thank goodness for layers, because you can always cover up your mistakes or decide to change your style after round one and just be like, nope, I'm going in a different direction. So honestly, I kind of feel like that's what I was doing. And of course, the more I worked on it, the more comfortable I felt and the more I loosened up. And that's one of my biggest challenges, is painting loosely. I like to paint super stiff, and that's what I was trying not to do. I honestly always try not to paint super stiff. It's not that I actually like to paint that way, it's just the way my mind goes about doing it naturally. So anyways, hopefully eventually I will be able to kick that to the curb for a bit and really work on loosening up and trying out different styles, really. So some of you might be wondering where I've been for like the last month, pretty much. The last time you guys heard from me, I was planning on going to Negril, Jamaica with my husband and our friends. And I actually really want to do a video of our trip. But lo and behold, it is 2018 and we took a lot of photos with underwater disposable cameras. And guess what? It is not the 90s anymore. Turns out you can't just walk into any Walmart or Walgreens and have those developed right then and there. No, I had no idea. They actually have to ship them off to some place in North Carolina, I believe. And it takes a couple weeks and then they finally ship them back to you. So the moment I get those photos back, I'm going to scan them and put together all the video that I took while I was out there. And hopefully within a reasonable amount of time after the trip, I will come out with that Jamaica trip video. We had so much fun, and it was just nice to get out of Dodge for a second and enjoy warm weather after a long, cold Rocky Mountain winter. And when we got back, we had a lot of catching up to do with work. You know, being out of town and owning your own business, it's hard. So when we came back, we really just had to dive in and focus solely on the business. And, you know, one of the things that I noticed after coming back from being on vacation like that is I really have to force myself to get back into the swing of things. It's hard because while we were there, I slowly but surely started to feel like I was one of those rich people that didn't have a job, and my entire life was this fabulous vacation, and reality can really kind of hit you in the gut sometimes. So as soon as we got back, we had to figure out the logistics of life again and realize that we're full-grown adults that own our own home, own a business, have pets to feed, and lives to take care of. So finally, now, in June, I finally got back to the point where I was capable of getting back on with my life, if you want to say that. But I've also been really busy with trying to ship off a painting that I sold recently. So that's been fun and interesting. It's a really, really large painting, and so I had to be very particular about the size of box I had. It was a great life lesson, actually, because anywhere else in the United States, you would be able to find just about any size of box you'd ever need. Turns out, in a dinky little ski town in the middle of nowhere, where your only options are Walmart, UPS, FedEx, and actually all three of those are really tiny here. Turns out they don't carry the size of box that I needed to ship this thing off in. So I ended up having to order a large bundle of massive boxes just for the future, you know. And on top of that, turns out you can't buy just one of these large boxes. You have to buy like a batch of 5 or more. So I did that, and I'm shipping that off tomorrow. And thankfully, this wasn't just any customer. It actually is going to somebody I know really well, and they were totally understanding of the fact that this happened. So great life lesson, great business lesson. Learn from my mistakes. Every painting that you paint, make sure that you can buy the packaging goods to send it off when it eventually sells. So I was able to contact the buyer and let them know, hey, I'm really sorry. I had to specifically special order the packaging for this painting, and it will be there a little late, but still by the deadline, thank God. the painting's still going to be there by the deadline. So, like I said, guys, learn from my mistakes. I've also lately been working on my website. I currently go through WordPress. I used to go through Wix, and they're totally different beasts. Wix, like Squarespace, super user-friendly. If you have zero knowledge about building a website, they're both super awesome for that. They're great startups. And so like I said, I originally went through Wix. It's completely drag and drop, which is awesome. But I started to notice a lot of limitations in the fact that since I run a creative business where my business is fueled by visual content, it was hard to market on things like Pinterest. And Pinterest, as I'm sure all of you guys know, or a majority of you know, Pinterest is a great marketing platform for visual content. I mean, there's no way around it. It's one of the most powerful marketing platforms out there. I mean, because it's completely visual based. So the fact that I was finding limitations in that really started to bum me out. And I just finally came to the decision that I had to take the leap. I had to have more control over my website. So I ended up going to WordPress. And come to find out, not too many artists have WordPress websites. I don't know why, because super versatile, and it's got no limitations, really. Absolutely none that I can find anyways. The only problem is that it's so powerful and so complex that every single time I have a problem and I knock down that problem, it's like 5 more problems show up. So, and I think that's probably because I have very little website building knowledge. I mean, I'm getting better the longer I do this, but I definitely didn't go to school for website design or anything like that. So it's a constant struggle to learn and figure things out. And anyways, so that's what I've been doing. If you haven't been to my website yet, I definitely suggest you check it out. I'm thinking it's looking pretty darn good right now. My website is the same as all my social media, just artworkbypayden.com, and it'll take you right there. My store is there, contact info if you ever need to reach me. Here at the end of this video is probably the most exciting part of the entire painting process. I was so excited to paint the water and the reflection of the iceberg in the water. The whole time I was painting the actual iceberg itself, I kept telling myself, do not stray, do not stray, do not stray, because all I wanted to do was stray to the water. And I knew that was going to just totally screw up my entire process. So, I mean, because you need the iceberg itself to be able to duplicate the reflection. So it was the biggest tease the entire time, seeing that big blank space on the bottom of the canvas, knowing it was going to be the most fun part of the entire thing, and not being able to touch it at all. So if you've made it this far, well, congratulations and thank you, because this is the best part of the entire video, and that is seeing the finished final project, water and all. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have a beautiful, amazing week. Definitely comment below if you have any questions or just want to comment on what you thought about the video. I would love that. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and definitely hit the bell button if you'd like to be notified every time I publish a new video. And also, check out my social media accounts. They are displayed right there on the screen. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.